Dear friends, you are welcome back to our studios again. This is 𝗟𝗜𝗙𝗘, your most authoritative Christian morning show in the whole of Ghana. This morning we are discussing an important issue, and many have already started calling and asking, are your panelists ready? We are discussing youth unemployment. Ghana na ye wono aban bi aba ne manifesto no de ahyemu yeba madwuma se edwuma na ebi so mo de ama ebi so omoba ombesan de ama, but the young people are still crying. Young people in the church are crying. Young people outside the walls of the church are crying. In fact, the whole Ghanaian populace eye mabunu edoso pa bebre na esuso omunni enwuma ye. Our students, we have taught, some have their masters, others even have a PhD, and they are saying they do not have jobs to do. But this morning, I am delighted to announce to you, I have some gentlemen here who are going to assist me to interrogate the matter of Ghanaian unemployment. And I have with me Mr. 𝗟𝗓𝗙𝗘. He is the national president of NAPCO Trainees Association of Ghana.
Yeah.
And then I also have here my brother 𝗟𝗓𝗙𝗘 Jr., president of the Rotational Nurses and Midwives Association of Ghana. Kwame, lege.
Follow
Wezo.
Dawo Danya for pa.
Elemiakpofia.
Elemiakpo.
All right.
Fumato de siade.
Elemiakpo. Okay, can I do bana daofia? Kule fumato kata.
Okay, da mado agbendine mi okata fume okata la yakpo. Mi vinke.
All right, get the chair. You know, it not make any own chair. It also so chair, also so chair. You probably knew me and send
Medasimania, made in Chastronco, Ebema, Obibia with Tijumedi, Titu NAPCO beneficiaries, and Afe one Mr. Freddy Green, where Blakuma North MPP secretary, Mechan Quanstronco, and Spartans for you.
Spartans?
Yes.
Okay, Spartans, no,
Spartans. Spartans is a volunteer group.
Oh, okay.
Yes,
okay.
My bahadi was
okay. All right.
But when baby, my break na wonya we. Say men next will be frame president. I na two things because me na me president.
Oh, okay. And did you code there any code there?
NAPCO Trainees Association of Ghana.
Okay.
And as Spartans.
Oh, Spartans and they mention Dante.
Obeti.
Oh, Meti. All right, internet your NAPCO. Aintina. Yen shall see info so. What is NAPCO? A baby sa NAPCO na ye dear potting. Now one no more and a don't cool a year more NAPCO association.
May I say, any DM, Minina NAPCO for your name, na Memfa and Chastronco, and my Excellency the President of the Republic of Ghana, Nana Adodankwa Akufo-Addo. I'm the President, the Vice President, His Excellency Dr. Mahmoud Bawumia. Na ibi menchia all NAPCO coordinators at the regional and the district level. No kreni nyame anim ne yana meta kama asem se kane no obi di nkomo no kan na definitely the ever by nadmo.
Okay.
But na die say ye kan na na wo hwese be ye nadmo ana say be ye NAPCO.
Okay.
Meaning said there has been an introduction of something. And ye can NAPCO the chire nyina ni Nation Builders Corps. Nation Builders Corps. Aye boy Mraneka say we are nation builders.
Okay.
Of course our programming a initiative Nana Adodankwa Akufo-Addo efra kunyakese no ode bae. And the whole idea is temporarily or ma the youth no adwuma na wa resource ye ewenimdiem na wa ma ye experience because ubehu na obi awie university or we in the national service. If you have 3 years, 4 years, to an extent, it be quite 10 good years. I know what I'm saying. What church application letters to various institutions say or per juma, but onya, and yes, I won't qualify you a juma anyhow. Now, one bad aspect in it say through interview, no, bisa say oh experience. We see debut a juma may be no mini experience or swing experience. Then you don't qualify. But the big question is a juma ben and family. No mama sa experience no. Ansa na wabe family.
Okay.
So the MPP government thought it wise. He said, why don't we introduce NAPCO, which is Nation Builders Corps, na temporarily yem fam provide the job emma mebuno no. Na fit sa experience can da almost no. Yem fama womo. Okay. So the whole Ghana, there was this laudable initiative equipping nipa over 120,000.
Okay.
University.
We'll come into the statistics of it, okay. But you munu na poso kakrana me sense you know. So all NAPCO trainees, that is your boss speaking. Now, my name is Okatechi. Are you an MPP card bearing member?
MPP card bearing, yes, I am.
All right. And I want you to convince me in 30 seconds to say the NAPCO is not an MPP ideology to only benefit foot soldiers.
Thank you very much. I think I wish I knew this already. I would have given you vivid evidence.
Okay.
Say, the Nation Builders Corps, NAPCO trainees, we were made up of all political party members.
How do you know?
How do I know? Good. That's what I'm saying. I wish this question would crop. Maybe.
Okay.
I don't know if you've been following NAPCO very well.
I have been following
very well. And you know, sir, we have some other sub-groups. Are you aware? Which, of course, if you follow them very well, you may know their political colors and where they are coming from.
Well, to their political colors, I do not know. All that I know is that NAPCO has other sub-sessions.
Good.
But you see, the reason I'm asking this, say yetihama ahwefo enem omanma ebia me de mi wonim de ne sese ne tie but obi so gina papa yi ba yi wachia na adodankwa wachia eye Dr. Baumia wanchia mahama ene na kire se eye ye papa Kufuado no wahye kutupa ede na besia all kase. So I want us to be able to clear that hurdle, say convince us a NAPCO eye sebio nipa nyina mabunu nyina womo apply ye found ye nhwe wo color enhwe wenim enhwe wo school, and that's what I'm trying that you
very
answer.
good. Now answer me better na me make key mention of one Spartans. I didn't greet anybody apart from our founder.
Okay.
So the idea behind greeting the president and then the vice, and they say may cheer the two gentlemen, the two fair gentlemen, because if possibly and can cheer Spartans founder and I'm kekangrophobic and you can blame me of that.
Right.
I don't know if you
yes,
really
I get
understand.
it. I get it.
Very good. So I was
Kwame Bechia
very good. So what I said you know nyakwachi say king then na quite decided now yes, that is how it is. But on the more serious note, you said you've been following NAPCO very well. As an MPP member, of course, are you aware, sir, I have done a lot of picketing and voicing out for my people?
You see, it is the rumor on the ground.
All right.
In the summary, when you feed the indeed, this is now the #1 Christian morning show. A Christopher and the others who are also, we even have Muslims who watch our show. It is they say when you're I want you to be able to disabuse the minds of people. Now I'm even reliably reliably aware say ebi kra NAPCO fo no bi kra no omo de no anam so amase omo de anya a permanent job wa omo eba will come. Let's come to Mr. 𝗟𝗏𝗏𝗏. Do you want to greet President Mama?
Okay, I don't come.
My greetings to go to our mother association.
Okay,
that is Ghana Registered Nurse and Midwife Association.
Okay,
they've been so prudent and supportive for the nursing and midwifery in Ghana.
All right. So I remember on the last time I asked you on air what really the Rotational Nurses and Midwives Association are. Now that they are here, take your time and explain to us who really they are and what is their number.
Okay, so rotational nurses and midwives are just nurses and midwives that have passed their license exams.
Okay.
So they are qualified to practice as nurses. Okay. But before they have the license to practice, we have to go through our mandatory service before your PIN is given to you.
Okay.
So as it stands, we don't have the PIN, but we've passed all the due exams to be called a qualifying nurse. Okay. So these people consist of degree students from the public and the private universities, the diploma students, that's both from private and then the public institutions as well. Okay. And then we, the rotation nurses currently, the number is 12,594.
That is huge.
That's very huge. Yes, that's the current rotation nurses on the wards right now. I mean, in the healthcare system right now, it's 12,594.
Okay. So does that mean that after 2 years, the association will be disbanded?
No.
Are you going to break it up? Because you won't be rotational again if you get your ping and you enter into the mother body.
Yes. So this association is just for, when we talk of rotational nurses, it's simply nurses and midwives that are undertaking their national service.
Okay.
So it's just a 1 year.
Oh, it's a one year thing.
Yeah,
okay.
1 year thing.
Okay.
So the association remains to be there for the nurse people who are joining.
Okay.
And when we finish our rotation, then we join the Graduate Unemployed Nurses and Midwives Association.
Oh, so that is another group. Eh?
Another group.
I know that the politicians will shake their head to that. But very, very, very interesting. Do you have your members from Accra to the northern part of Ghana?
Yes, yes. You know, with the national service, you are being posted randomly.
Oh, you don't choose where you go.
You
to.
only have the opportunity to choose 3 preferred regions.
Okay.
So you choose 3 regions, and then the system places you at a facility in any of the preferred region you choose.
Oh, so you will choose the region just as the regular national service
also
will
do. Yeah.
Okay. How much are you paid?
Okay, so with our payment, you know, the rotation nurses, the division is 2. We have the private trained and then the university graduates.
Okay.
Those from the universities. They are under the national service scheme.
Okay.
So with those under the national service scheme, they are paid the normal NSS money, that's 715.
Okay.
Yes. But with ours, there has been, we haven't had any communication yet. But when we put calculators on our seniors, we realize we are taking something a little above 800 cedis. Okay. Yes, because the amount has not been communicated. But then when you put calculator, you are getting about 815 to 20 cedis. That's the amount we take.
And as it stands now, even during this interview, you have not been paid a peso yet.
We have not been paid
since you started work.
Yes, we started in July. And we are in
July
our
last year,
July,
2003.
Yes, 3rd July.
2023.
Yes, 2023. And we've not been paid a CD.
That should be very, 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 very hard for you.
It's a very, very difficult situation. Looking at the current economic crisis, even every day we are hearing of increase in transport fares and food commodities, and then even rent and accommodation. You could tell that working for 6, even just, let me just say 6 weeks, without any allowance or salary will be very challenging. But we've been doing this for 8 months, and it's not a good thing to talk about. It's very, very difficult situation right now. So with our members, there are a lot of challenges and complaints. As the president, I'm not different from them. Yeah. I go through the same problem they are going through. That is challenges with feeding. Most times, rotation nurses feed once a day. And without once a day, we don't even get what we are supposed to eat. But I mean, when we talk of balanced diet, we don't eat balanced diet anymore. Wow. And with that same energy...
That one should be difficult.
It's very difficult. With that same energy, you have to use it to work. Since you don't have the money to board car, I mean, so you walk to work and you are serving your clients or your patients.
Amidst the stress from a sick person.
You could imagine.
Wow. We'll come to what your details entails. After for your person, kaya who say ye share unemployment ewo Ghana. And so we are going to tilt the conversation to youth unemployment. I was just looking at some statistics, and in the previous year, 2023, unemployment in Ghana increased to 3.92%. And so with the previous figure, it has increased. Later, I'll be giving you the unemployment rate among the young people. But let's go to Mr. Okatechi. Okatechi, yes, the government in power, which is your political party, promised us so much jobs, and it is the reason NAPCO has come. But there is still unemployment in Ghana.
Yeah, I mean, nobody can doubt this. Yes, in fact, the unemployment rate is still high. But the question is that, let me specifically change to NAPCO. Yes. Which, of course, 120,000 beneficiaries had opportunity to at least enjoy this Ladder initiative. So at the end of the day, we had over 60–70% of us are in permanent employment. Okay. So the question is that, if not because of the introduction of NAPCO for people to get permanent employment, still it would have affected the rate of unemployment. So whatever the case is, nobody can doubt to say unemployment rate is now low. It is still high.
Yeah.
But one thing I always say is we move from 1 before 2. So when specifically you look at NAPCO, I was even against the total scribing of the Nation Builders Corps.
Okay.
I was against it. But who am I? And being against it, my colleague NAPCO trainees were also against it. And as my colleague president was saying, sometimes people see we, the president, being treated different. But it's not like that. Now the government...
They don't give you any special money.
No.
We know sometimes politicians are behind you. Small.
So if it is true that politicians are behind us, would we have been crying? No. So all these things are rumors. All these things are baseless allegations.
The rumors are from your people, though. The
It doesn't
same people you are leading.
Who betrayed Jesus Christ?
Oh, okay. It was from within.
Exactly. Who betrayed Jesus Christ? So sometimes, I mean, some of these things, it needs further investigation.
Okay.
But my problem is that I know you to be one of the biggest journalists. Some of your colleagues, they just hear the rumor, they capitalize on that, and they broadcast it, which is sometimes affecting with the beneficiaries.
Okay.
Why? Because now people think that if you are a leader of such a group, you are being treated differently. But now, 𝗟𝗑𝗙, the national president for NAPCO Trainees Association of Ghana, the government owns me 8 months.
You don't mean it.
I mean it. 8 months. 8 good months. So that should tell you that it is not about you affiliated to the party, it's about the personal character.
Okay.
Whether it is your government or not your government, the truth must be said.
Yes. So that is why, for us who are apolitical, when some of you come on air, we want you to be able to distinguish yourself from being a leader of NAPCO and possibly a card-bearer member and speak to the issues as it is. So now I'm asking you, do you think your government has done well? The government of the Nana Addo Dankwa Akufo-Addo-led MPP has done well in mitigating the plight of the youth when it comes to employment?
Yes, he has done well, but not to expectation.
Okay.
That is what I would say. He has done well, not to expectation. There is more to be done.
Okay.
But as I said, we build upon issues. We build upon foundations. So if not possibly some introduction of this laudable initiative, then now the rate at which people at home would have been more. I don't know if you get me.
Yes.
Yes, because you can take someone from 1 to the 5th position. At least there has been some kind of something positive. So if you are aiming at being at the 8th position and you are at the 5th position from the 1st position, there has been some improvement. But still, we seek for more. That is why I was saying that with the Nation Builders Corps, I see that it was not necessary for the government to roll it out at all. Okay. Because 1, if such a laudable initiative can take about 120,000 youths out of the unemployment rate, then it is a plus. So I was thinking that the Nation Builders Corps is supposed to have been something perpetual. It will be there so that as the first batches move, then the second one will come. As the president said some time ago that there's going to be a second cohort of Nation Builders Corps, but we couldn't see that. Thinking that we being the first batch or the pioneers will leave, will be migrated to permanent employment, and then the second batch will be what? Will be recruited. We couldn't see that, which of course I see it as a big blow. But for now, there's no NAPCO. Our bigger challenge is our arrears, which of course, as a president, I wish you are with me. I wish you put yourself in my shoe on the various platforms.
The messages, the call that
is coming. Life has become so very unbearable. Seriously, I would say that on behalf of the NAPCO beneficiaries, we are not ungrateful at all. We are not ungrateful to this government. Just that the issues on board is what we are talking about. Because gone are the days where 𝗟𝗑𝗙 will be in the house, everybody will go and tell 𝗟𝗑𝗙, I'm going to the house. So if you see my things dried, please you pick them for me. Someone will come in the evening and say that 𝗟𝗑𝗙, is there anybody who came to look for me today? I was like watchman. They come in the evening, they will be asking me what happened in the house. But gone are the days that we were facing that. People were being chased out of the house because of electricity bills. I mean, a graduate, after completing your national service, you find it very difficult to even afford 3 square meal to perform basic responsibilities. But with the introduction of the NAPCO, some of us were able to face our landlords. We will not wait for them to sleep before we sneak to the house. we boldly come out to greet them.
There's some things on your pocket.
Exactly. So all these things, when we put them together, we are not going to be ungrateful. But no matter how it is, those challenges that we find ourselves in is what we have been remembering the government to resolve it for us.
All right.
Moreover, the challenges are like in Chi, almost say yes, yes, the feces of Eliza. You can see that there's more black and then there's a little white. So no matter how glorious the program was, because of these our arrears, I mean, we find it difficult to speak boldly outside because once you speak about the advantages and the importance of this NAPCO, one will come out and give one disadvantage, especially our arrears, to shut you down.
Exactly. We'll come back to investigate more into why you have not been paid and why some people have been giving a permanent employment and others have not been, because that was the intention. After NAPCO granting you people the experience, you are migrated into something permanent.
Exactly.
Well, come on, let's go to 𝗟𝗡𝗡. You jokingly said that after your rotational period, you are going to the Ghana unemployed. I hope that was a joke.
It's not a joke at all.
Really?
Yes, that is our second thought. As we are crying for our money, we are thinking of the next 5 months to come when we are done with our rotation.
What happens to you?
You know, it's sad to say that our seniors, let me say 2020 batch, who has passed their license, they have their PIN with them. They have not been posted, or they have not been given permanent.
Oh, 2020.
From
you
2020.
You are 2021.
We are 2023.
2023.
Yes.
Oh, but as far back as 2020. So 2021 is also home, and you are going to add up.
So 3 badges are already home. I mean, 2 badges are home.
Already home.
Yes.
You are going to add up to become 3 that have not been posted.
Yes. And this unemployment rates you're talking about, I think with the nurses it's kind of different because look at our badge, we are 12,000. With the 2020 badge, it's about 15,000 and over. That includes both the diploma, the degree, and then the nursing assistant preventive, and then the
You schooled where?
I schooled in public health in 𝗟𝗡𝗏.
Oh, you went to public, okay.
Yes.
All right.
So with all those category of nurses staying at home, being trained and have the skills and they are home from 2020 to date, that's 3 to 4 years, and they've not been posted. They've actually initiated moves to the ministry. You know, we are under Ministry of Health, but then government has not listened to them. They released a communique, I think it's a few days ago, saying that all they get is reassurance on reassurance, and it is 3 to 4 years staying at home. You could understand. It's like we are crying before we get beaten. Yeah, we've not yet been beaten, but we are crying. Because
crying in advance.
Crying in advance.
Yeah.
So some of these things, if some of us are speaking on it, it's not about politics, but some of these things shouldn't be politicized. We mostly hear in the news that because it's a political year, they'll be posted before elections. But no, on a normal day, the funny thing is that their PINs are subjected to renewals. So every year they need to renew their PINs. And while staying at home, they are expected to renew their PINs every year. So the PIN that they are not using to practice, they are paying to renew those PINs.
Oh.
Yes.
Every year.
Every year. So when you are staying home for 3 years without using your PIN, but you are renewing for the 3 years.
Okay.
And as it stands now, for some of us, it just looks awkward to us. We don't know what we are going to do.
Okay. Mr. 𝗟𝗡𝗡, will you doubt me if I tell you that there are some people within the 2020 group, 2021 group, who have been employed?
I wouldn't doubt you because I've seen a communication from some of our, an official communique from our seniors saying that they don't know why some of their colleagues have been into permanent posting. And it means there have been some backdoor postings.
Some have been employed.
Yes, it's something that is going on.
Some have been employed. I know. I mean, you can mention all the hospitals. I mean, all the bigger hospitals, even the tertiary ones. Some have been employed. So, do you have an idea as to why some have been employed and others have not been? Is there a political underhandling? Somebody knows somebody who knows somebody.
It's obvious. It's obvious because generally, those who completed that year have not been posted. So it is, I think, with general recruitment in this country, is whom you know. But with nurses and midwives that we are badges and we are expected to be posted, shouldn't be treated that way. So with those people, I can't tell whether it's political or it's whom they know. But you could see it is true that it is through somebody which those illegal activities has been actually done, which is not supposed to be.
Well,
imagine
you may call it illegal, but it's somebody's answer prayer.
Divine favor.
that's not a favor. That's not a
Overtaking
favor.
anointing.
No, the divine there, when the divine comes in there,
You can't question it.
yes.
No, this divine can be questionable.
Yeah, this one.
It's very, very questionable.
Because all of you finish school the same time.
Yes. And then it is not like you apply so that you'll be picked. It is not that way. The financial clearance will be released for your badge, and everybody in that badge who has passed and have a license will be posted. So it is not something that you applied and then they pick you. So those people were actually invited into corner and they were given a best treat.
Okay.
You understand? So it's not about divine. If it's about divine, then
Everybody must have that.
everybody, yeah.
But let's go to Oketechi and also ask. Oketechi is the same with NAPCO as well.
Yes.
I know people who have been employed who are NAPCO beneficiaries. And then I have a bit more na yemfebi. And you see, crabby, so I have for an I am foul.
me.
Hey, Presido.
So how do you politicize this?
Presido.
As a national president for the NAPCO Trainees Association,
A card-bearing member.
a card-bearing member,
Okay.
but not being biased. I mean, you being a card-bearing member doesn't mean, because even the electoral commission, they vote, but they are doing the right thing.
Yeah.
So, not being employed. The government also owns me 8 months.
8 months.
But before then, let's look at
Yeah.
unemployment and NAPCO.
Okay.
The NAPCO was designed in such a way that one needs to at least complete, accredited tertiary institution, and after your national service, you need to be. So now, we have some people who have completed teacher training college. They were put into the model Educate Ghana, and as the name implies, Educate Ghana.
That's right.
We have others from my colleague president's sector, health. They are Heal Ghana. We have others who are for computer under the digitization, that the Digital Ghana. And then we have, revenue, those who did something about revenue in school. So in all we have about 7 models. So per your model, you'll be placed. So all the beneficiaries under the Heal Ghana were placed at the hospital. Educate Ghana to the education to go and teach. Revenue Ghana precisely at the Ghana Revenue Authority, and then other models. So now, at the end of the day, now NAPCO and unemployment, we have about 60 to 70% of us who were employed. This is how it happened. For instance, Ghana Revenue Authority, when our contract came to an end, there was a letter out for those trainees who were posted to the Ghana Revenue Authority that they are going to extend their contract. And for that matter, it is the Ghana Revenue Authority who is going to take in charge of their payments. So henceforth, the central government will not pay them. As at now, they have been renewing their contract for almost 2-3 years now, and they are permanently employed, receiving more amount than even some of other permanent workers at different places. So this is a plus.
Okay.
Now, there was a time that my association, we wrote a letter to His Excellency the President, who initiated the NAPCO, that we know that it's a 3-year contract, and for that matter, we are getting to the end of the program. So we appealed to the President to do something so that we can be permanently employed, because we knew that our contract was going to come to an end, which we had a lot of promise that is true. We are going to employ you guys to even take another cohort, but we couldn't see that. Now you will be in a school, there will be some clearance for the school, and they will see what is in you as a NAPCO trainee, because I remember some of the NAPCO trainees went to interview, they qualified, and they were given that opportunity. But the question is that, what happened that we were able to see what was in them, meaning that it was through the NAPCO initiative. That is the reason why we were able to see something in them. So the NAPCO initiative has done a lot for us. Not everybody could be employed. Even if you're supposed to apply, there could be some kind of interview lapses, you may not qualify. So for that one, is another thing altogether. So what happens that some of us are not employed is that the number was huge. Maybe from where I sit, the number was huge. 120,000 beneficiaries to be employed directly into the public and the private. In addition, the government was not employing only NAPCO trainees. So those in the house too, he was doing the same.
Okay.
He was doing the same. So taking NAPCO trainees on board and then considering
Others.
some people from other side. So, I mean, that is why my brother was saying that divine
so is it not the case of the inability for some of you to justify yourself well if you were employed? Because let's say I am here handling this interview. If I have a NAPCO person working with me and I see that the NAPCO person will benefit my company, won't I do everything in my power to make sure I employ the person?
Exactly. That is why I said, even if without NAPCO, not all people who apply for a job would qualify. Even with the interview crashes, you can be disqualified. Okay. So that one is also there, because we don't expect all the 120,000 to go and portray a good character. No, we don't. Because as a national president, there were some activities and some behaviors of my own colleagues which was to be condemned, which I think is also natural. It's not only NAPCO trainees. You go to the health sector, you go to even the security agencies, you get some people who are portraying negative characters and all that. So this is not about only NAPCO trainees. It's a national or a general thing altogether.
We'll be looking at the character of the Ghanaian youth generally when it comes to employment. But
that one too is a very
important. It's something we need to address on these. So for those of us who teach you in the university, we are able to see that this person is not really going to end well because of character. And so from others, you see, this person really has a future. I mean, now I've been teaching for 20 years in the university. And after that, you realize, they're okay, you know. So we need to look at the character and attitude of the Ghanaian youth when employed. But we'll go to Mr. Ameble.
Before then, let's clear this. Not all beneficiaries or in general will portray a bad character. No.
Obviously.
Sometimes there will not be clearance to cover you.
Obviously.
So not that when you are NAPCO training, you have not been permanently employed because you don't have good character.
If the vacancy is not there, there's no vacancy. That one we agree. But there's also a reliable fact that Sebi be buying woman with huni. So let's come back to you. I am wondering what is going to happen to any of your team members who, after 8 months, you say, how many months are left for you to finish your national service, and what really will happen to them after this number of months are over? I've been wondering.
Okay, so for us, it's left with about 5 months.
Oh, you are left with 5 months.
5 months to end our service. And you know, the issue of not paying rotational nurses whilst they are working has been there for some years now, some few years now. So it's not starting from us, but we are hoping it ends on us. Because over the years, our seniors worked. Those who just ended the service before we started, they had their allowances paid somewhere October, November. That's about 3 months or 2 months after they've ended their national service. And you know, most of us go through daily challenges to just finish this service. And looking at the complications of eating just once a day or not eating at all or walking to work, you end up putting some crisis on yourself. A situation like you not being able to feed yourself with a 3 square meal, and then, you know, stomach ulcer is there. Though it's not just eating.
Nurses are suffering from stomach.
Yes.
That one is serious.
As it stands now, some of our colleagues are having that challenges.
You don't mean it?
Very serious. And before you finish your service and your money is paid, you already have the ulcer. Though hunger is not a major contributing factor, but then if you don't eat, the acid release on your empty stomach and then the lining wears off, you understand? Wow. So you have this stomach ulcer.
You see what the nurse is trying to...
Really
all right. But Amebla, I'll come back to you. We have just been joined by Francis Oko Ama. He is a youth development practitioner. Ogbe Okoni.
Thank you.
Okay. Oh, I see. Francis Oko Ama. Oh, he is a youth development practitioner and co-founder youthcommunity.org. Oko, I understand you are very versed with policy issues when it comes to youth employment and unemployment. I want you to tell us whether successive governments with their so-called ad hoc measure to have the youth employed have done well. 𝗟𝗏𝗘 was applauding the MPP for bringing that stopgap idea of NAPCO and helping them to gain experience before they move on. Successive government, NDC 1 did it, NDC 2 did it, Mahama did it. Akufo-Addo has done it. Has it been good from the policy level?
So from the policy level, you can see the ideas are very good. The intention behind those policies are good. However, the issues lies with implementation. Okay. Prior to NAPCO, we all know national service has been in the system for years. And even before we get to the unemployment issue, per population census every 10 years, as been done by Ghana, you could literally project the number of young people who will complete undergraduate, like their first degree, which mandates them to enroll in national service for the coming years. You can predict from the number of students who complete junior high school. You do realize that not all of them even go to senior high school. So the rest who have completed and have not moved on to senior high school, what are they doing? What kind of employment measures are there? Because those energies and potential is still there. And once they branch into a level of skills building, these are all sources of employment and livelihood for such people. So if you do not address this group of people who have not transitioned to senior high school or vocational technical school, strike one.
Okay.
Then for those in senior high school or vocational and technical schools, they also get a level of skills and all of that. Mind you, not all of them also transition into tertiary schools, because not all of our tertiary schools can even absorb them. So first we have those who couldn't get to senior high schools for whatever reason. You need to engage them at that level to tap into their potential, so that you would not be struck with like a youth bulge, a group of young people who are lurking around without employment and skills. Usually when it happens like that, they'll find other ways to get, have livelihood, and that is where increased theft on the street and all of that coming.
Yes, right.
So strike one is there. Now those transitioning from senior high school to the tertiary institutions, to what avenues are there? I know for a fact that for the vocational and technical trainees, like the skills are so practical. So right after technical school or senior high school, some of them are able to start on their own. Even that, we need like a clear-cut policy to tap into those areas. So even going through vocational technical school is also capital intensive because of how practical their studies are. Now, in other developed economies, you realize that that is like the meat of society, because, for example, those who enter into fashion design and clothing, like, we are all dressed in one way or the other. And these are things that are very seasonal. Easter, Christmas, wedding parties, things happen every day. So you need such people to meet those needs. Today, weddings are a big issue. Like, it's a big industry. It wouldn't thrive without those in clothing and fashion and design and all of that. So you have to see the potential of that industry first. And then the potential of the energies of the young people who need those skills, and tap into it and invest. So if we don't do that, strike two. Now, for a lot of us who went through senior high schools, a lot of the times you don't really have practical skills than our friends in the vocational and technical school. They are more at an advantage over us. So a lot of us will have to
advantage in terms of the practical
skills, in terms of skills, because they can enter into employment like with the right setup. But you from a senior high school who studied maybe arts and stuff like that, you need a form of higher education before. So we are forced to go into the tertiary schools. Mind you, not every young person in senior high school or vocational or technical school even transitions to the tertiary level. Yeah. Now, that is strike two. How are we investing in that potential? And now, for those who even enter into tertiary, the Ghanaian young person is in the mind that once you enter into tertiary, you expect a certain level of treatment, benefits after school, even after national service. So by the time the young person finish their first degree and they are making their mind into national service, of course, the issue about lack of work experience where NABCO came in. Prior to NABCO, every tertiary school there's a long vacation where students are encouraged to take internships. You understand? Now schools have come up with ways to evaluate how young people are placed in internship positions and all of that. But we need to reinforce that. For example, some schools would wait till you get to third year or level 300 before you go on your mandatory internship. But right from level 100, you can take your first 3 months as an internship. Level 200, you take second 3 months. That's 6 months worth of experience you're building. Level 300, you take another one. By the time you finish your final year, you would have 12 months of experience. So as you are entering into national service, your skill is being sharpened because you yourself can, as an individual, like we all, like, how do I even explain this? We also take, like, we measure our growth. You know that in level 100 I couldn't do this, but when I took internship I learned, okay, this is how it works. Level 200, you can see your growth from second year, from the things you were doing in first year, but now you can do it better. As you get to your final year, you as an individual, you can even assess yourself. So before you even go into an interview for maybe a national service placement, or like, your confidence is already boosted because you know that you have level of worth of experience and it comes with skills. So you see, compared to someone who have never taken an internship or only took internship in third year with 3 months, with you having 12 months, how do you even walk into the interview room, whether for skills as a vocational student or even for a white-collar job? You can clearly, and for lecturers and employers and all of that who are very technical, they can see from walking right through the interview door who is coming in confident, know what they are about, and who they would want on their team. So you see how we need to psych the young people's mindset right from the beginning. Mind you, I told you, strike one, those who couldn't get through to senior high school, how are we engaging them? Then those who went through senior high school but then could not immediately transition to the tertiary level. Now, those in the tertiary level who couldn't identify the opportunities I have mentioned for internship, volunteering, and all of that, who are even going into national service with literally zero skills. We have all heard about people at national service placement who will only usher at events and go and buy 𝗦𝗲𝗏 or do photocopy. These are potentials we are wasting away. And I know we have friends. We hear stories about, oh, me, national service, I only went to sell, I went to buy 𝗦𝗏𝗏 for the team. I only went to do this. Meanwhile, this person's energies are wasting away. But of course, sometimes we blame government. Governments can have all the best intentions, but they are not necessarily at the implementing level, seeing a lot of some of these things happen. So I also charge the young people to also take their future into their hands. For someone who never had any guidance but took a lot of opportunities on campus to learn and develop themselves, and someone who just went through the system that the schools have developed, you realize that if by the end of your 4-year bachelor's studies and you are coming out with 12 months worth of experience compared to someone with 3 months, you will be confident in yourself. So you will know that you built yourself, you took advantage of the opportunities available. So we need to look at a lot of these indicators. So when you put all the people who couldn't transition together, there is a problem.
We'll come back to you. I want you to really address the fact that from the observer's point of view, the whole ad hoc way of helping the youth to get out of unemployment appears a lip service. But let's go to 𝗏𝗏𝗏 and we'll come back to you to address that. 𝗏𝗏𝗏, put your political colors away for 2 minutes. Let's try and see if we can critically analyze what successive governments have done in terms of youth unemployment. Indeed, one of the days the year boss was speaking and said that, look, even in the United States there is unemployment, which we all know. But it appears that people come and they talk plenty. But when they are in power, the young man or the young woman is not so much taken care of in terms of employment.
Yes, it's true. Seriously, that is one major problem that we are facing as a nation. And of course, you can't tag this problem to a specific political party. It's a general issue altogether. I mean, which political party has come out to say that when I come, unemployment rate will be 0, and it has happened. It doesn't. They will all promise employment. At the end of the day, we are able to assess them on the rate they were able to build something. That is why I'm saying that this is a general canker. We cannot say that this MPP government has done everything perfect. Definitely, there are so many to achieve. But you see, I always say that from 1, you go to 2. I will always say that from 1, you go to 2. So once the person has been able to add something, I think we are supposed to commend the person and look at what the person can do more. So now the MPP government, you said I should put away political cards, which I left it behind before even coming to the studio.
Before coming to the studio, right, that's fine.
Why? Because now, what can we do as youths? NAPCO was created. About 40 to 50% of us are unemployed. The most important thing that we can boast of is the experience. If not, we are back to add to the unemployment rate, which of course my colleague president is saying that very soon they would also be joining the unemployment.
Yes.
So now we are also joining back, which is a very serious issue. And we shouldn't forget that anything pertaining to youth and employment is about security matter. And if the whole it's a national security. And you see, we had one picketing which I led as a party member. I led one picketing. Yes.
So that for your money, you are
yes, very
remember
good. So
that.
I said
Didn't your party executives call now? Tell us the truth. They called you.
Oh no, they didn't, because they know me. I would say they know me. They didn't.
Okay.
No. I mean, we are above that.
Okay.
We are above that. Because
right, sure.
once it is good, it is good. Once it is bad, it is bad. Now, let's look at over 40% of NAPCO trainees who are back on the streets and the implication on the national security. I was saying that because of the introduction of NAPCO, we had some people, if not NAPCO, they would have engaged themselves in other negative things and other things like armed robbery and our women prostitution and those stuff. But because of the introduction of NAPCO, it was seized. Now, it is better for you to not do anything at all than to carry me up and leave me straight down. You understand that? So one thing I am pleading with the government is to, my friend was saying that the implementation, that is where the problem is. So I was even thinking that if NAPCO is to be cancelled, then it shouldn't be cancelled totally, but the number of beneficiaries who had opportunity to have the program should be reduced. For instance, 120,000 beneficiaries nationwide. If it was too difficult for us to be paid, we can reduce it to 50,000. So that the scheme would always be there, and if the scheme to be there, my colleague members would also be enjoying, because some people will be enjoying national service at the same time NAPCO. So you see that it will bring a drastic reduce to the unemployment rate at a specific time. And I was thinking that NAPCO should have even been the situation where it will be there perpetually. So after national service, then you enroll on NAPCO. From NAPCO, after gaining the experience, then permanent employment.
A step into employment.
Exactly.
But you see,
so my friend was saying something. For the national service, you have no right to say where you're supposed to be posted to. But with the NAPCO, you are going to the health sector if you did health. You are going to the banking sector if you did banking. You are going to the classroom if you did, if you attended a teacher training. So this is, what you learned at the university, you are going to practice what you did. Okay. Someone will complete a tertiary institution and will be sent to the roadside to go and direct traffic. I mean, what experience will you get? I mean,
or maybe he wants to go into the police service and join the MTTD.
How many people are willingly want to do that? You will be there, then you'll be posted to go to the YEA traffic sector, go and direct traffic. Whilst you are dreaming of becoming a teacher, someone went to teacher training college and the person will be posted to, let's say, administrative office, which is, I mean, it doesn't.
But you see, if all you three gentlemen, if we all think that this whole idea of a stepping stone into employment is good, there is a political stalwart vying for to be elected to be president, says that national service will even be a voluntary thing. And
which should it be?
Okay, all right. Okay, so pick it up.
Which should be.
So you see, I am dodging the political man here because he will stand. Okay, let's hear from Oko. We'll come back to you.
It should not be because mind you, for young people who enroll in tertiary education, either you did 4 years or 3 years bachelor's, national service has been mandatory for about over 20-25 years. You understand what 𝗟𝗡𝗏 should have learned for a lot of the inconsistencies he mentioned in national service. For example, you not having the right to go to where you like have a say in where you are being posted. If 𝗟𝗡𝗏 or governments in general are able to study this, national service is a very good initiative. And so what are the inconsistencies in national service? How can we make it better? And you identify that young people don't necessarily have a say in where they are posted, and that you study the trend and the data and all of that. You're like, okay, this is an issue, let's improve it and make sure that young people are posted wherever where their interest lies. Now, it is not by mere saying that I did statistics, so post me into the statistical service. But you have to go through some aptitude tests, like there should be a metrics for doing this. Once every young person goes through that, and you know that this is the criteria, these are the indicators per your interview and skills and everything that we did. This is where you place, and so you are being placed here. That is understandable for any young person anywhere in the world, that these are the criteria, these are my requirements, and this is what I met. Simple. Now, I'm not saying that 𝗟𝗏𝗏 should be scrapped. No. Now, ask this person, hoping that you strengthen the internship system or skill building systems while they are in school, because for long vacation, some people don't even take the full 3 months, but 2 months, and then 1 month for, just to rest in between, which is good. Now, over the time when a person completes their 4-year bachelor's, the experience entry into national service, where you would have gone through a list of like interview criteria or metrics for the person to be placed where they are placed, you see that their mind is already clear, they know where they are going to. 1 year is very short. Now, there are other inconsistencies with national service, like trainees not being paid on time and all of that. This has been there for years. It's not necessarily be rectified. Other young people entering into national service see it, so it even deters them. So you also identify this, then you make it better, so that it will even motivate a lot of the younger people coming, because there may be a group of young people who may be quiet and not complain, but the young people coming will not keep quiet, and it will backfire for every government, not necessarily MPP, and any other government that comes in power would have to deal with them. You understand? So you identify the inconsistencies and resolving them. Now, a young person gets through skills building knowledge in school, they go through whatever interview or metrics to make sure that they are placed where, if I want to be a pilot and I've studied engineering, aerospace, whatever, and I want to work at the airport, I will learn and make sure that I pass through the necessary criteria to be placed there. That is my determination. I owe that to myself. And I know that if the systems are working, and I know that I have studied and I've gone through everything that I need to go through, I know my country will not fail me in that regard. Because there are a lot of scholarships, a lot of opportunities that the country provides, and it's giving out on merit basis, not because I know someone somewhere.
So the country invariably is failing the young people.
We are failing the young people, that's what I am saying. And so once you know that all of these things have been set in place and they are working, you will definitely go through the right channel and you will be placed there. Now, I have done everything in my power to be placed at the airport because I studied aerospace engineering, whatever. Now I owe that to myself to prove that yes, I got this on merit. And within 1 year, there's so much you learn. And then I find out that, okay, national service is coming, unemployment will be an issue and all of that. Let's say I even impressed my bosses at work, but unfortunately there are limited spaces, they couldn't take all of us. Then 𝗟𝗏𝗏𝗏 comes to save me. You understand? Now, I also understand for a lot of politicians or, of course, governments, before they get into power, young people are very juicy numbers for votes. And so, just like a young man who is interested in someone, they will tell you, they will promise you heaven. You understand? And so, and our politicians were once young people. They were leading revolutions like in their time, and they know it. You understand? So, when you bring an initiative, first of all, failing to address the already existing system that has been there for over 20 years, you have already failed to address those institutions, because you know a lot of our government also want to say we brought this, we did that, while failing on previous attempts. Because once you strengthen this effort and it's being implemented well, the credit still goes to you, because why am I saying this? There are a lot of private corporations, I do not want to mention it, I would have gone on and on, who have picked our national service initiative in Ghana here and have developed like 1 year leadership trainings for students. So they finish their national service and they don't even know how to send an email. They don't even know how to write a report and all of that. Organizations have picked up the national service and enhanced it in their own institutions, call it entry level, placement, whatever. And they develop matrices, like they know the issues with the young people, they know the needs of their organization and develop a criteria where they recently there was one TV station who literally developed a whole reality TV show on internship. And you see the criteria. So if you want to enroll in that program, you would work hard for it.
All right.
You understand? So that is what I want government to do from the development perspective.
Indeed, we are going to have a part 2 of the same team where possibly next week, if it's okay, we are going to tell government what the young people want.
Thank you.
Bam.
I think this is where we are. You see, one day when in a conference, I had spoken, Professor 𝗟𝗜𝗍𝗘 came to speak, and I raised my hand as a prof. Let me ask a question, though we are all speakers. Are we always going to come to conferences and always will talk about, and I say, Ghana, I say, where I say, why I say, what about us and what are we doing? Can we begin to also go beyond the problem and prophet solutions?
Thank you.
Producer, if you are listening to me, I will beg you. This I'm using my authority as a host of the show to say, if you can repeat this same theme for me, the political parties are writing their manifestos now. We are going to use 𝗟𝗓𝗏 Shrine to voice out what the youth want done in their manifesto. Well, I know you're also a listening producer and you listen to me, but let's come to Amable. If we cancel national service, it means that rotational nurses will not be there at all. Do you agree?
To me, I wouldn't agree to that.
You agree, eh?
I wouldn't agree. I would have agreed looking at the challenges we face, but looking at the benefits of national service, it is very important we enroll in the national service.
Very important.
During this 1 year, though, you know, when you go to the nursing institutions, we have intra-semester practicals, that we call it clinicals, and it's mandatory. You go through all those processes. But then when you finish and you are enrolled on the national service, you gain more experience. You actually face the job. You know what is done on the field and how to do it more. You know you were a student, and then even the courage wasn't there. But as it stands now, my colleagues can bear with me. We can say yes, they should wrap it off because we've been going through a lot because of delay in our payment allowances. But those systems need to be corrected so that this process of national service will be enjoyed by the citizens. I mean the youth, whilst they undertake this procedure to get their skills and on the job. You know, and one problem too is that after getting the skills, you go and stay home, and those skills deteriorate. So it's all about the systems. They need to be changed.
It's a vicious cycle.
Yes. Those things just need to be rectified. For cancelling national service or doing it not mandatory, it is not what we want right now. The youth are unemployed. Whilst they are undertaking the mandatory national service, they are not being paid. They are not treated well during this time. That is what should be looked at. The attention should be focused on how we are going to make those systems better for the people to get the skills they need to practice as professionals, not to say it is not mandatory, so if you like, you don't do it. No, it shouldn't be so.
All right, let me open my phone lines. Politician, I'll come back to you. I know you want to really. Okay, the chairman, so person can be there's a whole voluntary, involuntary national service. But let me open my phone lines. There are equally young people who are behind the television, want to ask questions. 025-625-3461. 025-625-3461. We have been discussing unemployment in Ghana, and these are the opinions of various sectors of the youth, some who are into policy, some who are into NAPCO, some who are also into health, and they are all venting their grievances. You can call and ask your questions, and if you also have a contribution, you are ready. You can do that. Yes, Otegetechi.
Yes, sir.
Adenti, tell us.
You see, one thing about if you say something is mandatory or not mandatory. For instance, I may have my reasons why I don't want to do national service.
Okay.
Now, let us get things clear.
Okay. Tell
One,
us.
the government has not said national service
We have
is
Joshua
going to be
from
cancelled.
OT. That's what government said.
No, he didn't
Was
say
that
it's
the
going to
position
cancel.
of government, or that is the position of Dr. Baumia when it comes to power? But
that is his vision.
Joshua,
Part of his vision.
Joshua, you're calling from OT.
Yes.
Yes, my brother, you're on air.
Hello.
Hi, Joshua, you're on air.
Yeah, please. I'm Takosun Joshua calling from OT region. Yeah. Hello.
Yes, go ahead, please.
Yes. Our president Katechi Dennis, he has spoken well. But the fact is, I am also part of the nation builder of NAPCO. I think he said 60% of NAPCO has been employed permanently. I think that one, I will not agree to that. Looking at the total number, actually it's 12,000. But, sir, I think that those who have gotten permanent employment, they are not even up to 20%. And that 20% stuff is not something they make it normal for everybody to get it. I think it might be the party line. Please, we are not, those who are employed permanently are not up to 60%, please, sir.
All right. So he had wanted to bring the statistics and couldn't bring. I'm sure next week when he's coming, he will give us all the in-depth statistics and all that. So, okay, Techi, that's one of your...
Yes, I greet him. I wonder how he was able to know that.
Oh,
I wonder how he was able to know
you
that.
mean his statistics?
He has been able to know that we were less than 20% as a NAPCO trainee. The president says 60%. He said it's not true.
Well, maybe you have to refer us to the source document.
Exactly.
Yes,
So as I was saying, now, I think that national service is a repetition of attachment and intention. It's a repetition.
You think so?
Yes.
Okay.
Because once you are in school, you are supposed to have your attachment, you are supposed to have your intention.
So you are coming to repeat national service.
Very good.
Okay, we have Felicia. Felicia, you are calling from Salt Pond.
Yes, please.
We are listening to you.
I'm a program. Maybe a contribution, Kaka, for solutions, for the solutions that you said you want to solve the problem. Unemployment. I don't get the name unemployment graduate. It's not a name that we should use, but rather after a university. University is a body of ideas. We can use that idea to solve some of the problems, to be entrepreneurs ourselves, according to what we learned over there. All right. There's a can be creative jobs, but the knowledge that we have, you both two nails are giving Kaka.
Okay, you better say, wako a typical school like my University of Ghana, why your religions, why a classic, a day entrepreneurial skills what do you call it? Sorry.
Where is even the funds? Where is even the funds? The funds that you are going to use.
Yeah.
The funds.
Yeah.
So one thing I was also saying is, I mean, one, you think, say, if I save at this particular bank, it will be okay for me. I'm just giving an example. So if you think that national service is very important, it is not mandatory, all right, but you can also do your national service. That is what I want to. So the government has not said, say, or cancel national service totally, or say any mandatory. Meaning, so if it is good for you, you can do it.
It should not be up for discussion in the first place. It shouldn't be. It should. Because you would have people who graduate from university, enter into national service, who cannot even send an email, who cannot do the very basic things that you expect a university students to do. So once you are cancelling it, what kind of people are you putting into the labor market? You understand?
So on record,
all these things,
no. Once the discussion is there, it's like it's being considered, it's being thought about. It shouldn't be. It shouldn't. We shouldn't even get there.
We have Atipo. Atipo is calling from Kumasi. Atipo.
Yes, sir.
Yes, you can work into the conversation. What do you want to say?
Yeah, my name is Adzika. I'm calling from Kumasi, and I'm one of the NAPCO trainees.
Okay.
Good morning, sir.
Good morning, sir.
And thank you for your good work. But my problem is, I think we are sometimes at fault because we don't have the courage. We've been trained, and sometimes to go on as a developed or educated youth. We lost the confidence we have to get into the market. or entrepreneurs. We've been trained as entrepreneurs, but then somehow we don't have the courage to go out there, and that's our problem. But my problem is the politicians. They spend enough money in just to be reinstated, to come back into politics, buying TVs and then motorcycles, and just for them to be re-elected into politics. But the money they spend in political realm is probably beyond understanding. Why can't they invest in that money in the youth country? We're talking about the nurses not being trained and not being paid, narco training. It is very powerful in the city for the country. But we are losing money in politics. And I think that we as people, we need to change. If we have desire to help Ghana grow, we need to change our mindset. But
all right, thank you. The line has not been too clear from, I don't know whether any of you listen, but from the discussion on the table, it appears we are divided. So we are divided not on political lines, but on the fact that some people, yes, on opinion, some people want the national service to remain, and indeed some
to remain.
Yes.
No, let's
remain.
Because if you don't take
it should be mandatory.
Exactly.
It should be mandatory. It should be mandatory.
This government
Nobody
has
should
not
escape
cancelled
it.
national service. This government has not cancelled national service.
But
Or will not cancel national
we
service.
should keep it mandatory.
Mandatory.
Which
Should
of
it be
course-
voluntary?
Because
So with that national service, are you saying you said the entity are in free national
Okay, I
without
have
national service? we
Sarah.
won't
Let
get it?
me pick
Then I
Sarah.
think
Sarah.
Hey, hello, I'm here.
Yes, you're welcome.
Thank you, Safo. My little contribution is that national service, no, me want to say, no compulsory or not compulsory, no. All boils on the fact say you are looking at money, national service personnel, how to cut it down. I don't think there is a need to make it compulsory or not compulsory. It should be. So just like the guy in white is saying, me name call 4 years, Juma, or no interviewer. They speak so well. You want them to send an email, and even the salutation is a problem. So I believe that national service is a very good thing. It will help you to learn some of these things that the universities do not teach us, which is very much needed in the corporate world. Indeed, there shouldn't be that option, say, a compulsory or not. I believe, say, national service personnel for no more share figure, no more person will reduce it. Until no one should say, and compulsory or not. What will we be doing if we are home? The level of employment is very, very, very high. It's very, very low. That is employment. So that's of unemployment is very high in this country. So even that 1 year of engagement reduces that job hunting for fresh graduates. So there shouldn't be that option at all.
For that one, I will understand. But national service should not be a scheme, say, better how to send
national
email.
service should be being a national service, so it's a recommendation for a lifetime job. I think that there shouldn't be that option. It should be compulsory.
All right. So,
I think it's okay, but for the email, national service not.
Well, it's just an example. It's just an example.
But you see,
No,
for emails and those things, Obi create me school. Meaning, as I was saying, you're supposed to be divine mercy. No, good. So Obi wait my school. So does it mean that after completing a tertiary institution, you don't need to be permanently employed whilst you don't go for national service? It shouldn't be like that.
well, no, that is not what we are saying. Now, development takes. It doesn't happen once, or at a point. It takes time. So as skills building, because you are being employed to do what? To use your skills to solve problems that benefits the country.
Intention.
So the country has to invest. So if you was listening to me earlier, I mentioned that the tertiary institutions, some tertiary institutions have made internship mandatory and all of that, usually for like 3 months or something. But if the tertiary students are listening or they are making things work, and government wants to strengthen existing systems, they will make sure that over the 4-year period.
All right. We have our last caller. Justice.
Yes, Reverend.
How is Ogakope?
Very well, sir.
All right. Let's hear you.
Okay, so my little point I would want to send across is that I feel the national service is very important, as we have all said. But let us not be too quick to make changes to it, whereby we haven't sat down to plan very well for it. Because it's like there's this trend that we are quick to change things, but we don't really have, proper replacements for them.
Okay.
But we are very quick to change them. Let's not, even the name itself, national service. You are serving your nation as, students or whatever schools you've been through. You realize that foreigners pay more fees than us. It means in a way the state has invested in you. So it is a time for you to serve the nation. You are given a little token where you appreciate that, okay, I'm not looking at the money I'm being given, but I'm serving the nation. That's why they can send you to the north, even if you are in the south. So let us not be too quick to, change things to the national service. Let us send that patriotic, task to the people that, the youth, that we are serving our nation. And let our leaders also not think so much about how much we are paying into it and all that.
Yeah.
It's about time we invest so much in the youth, because a lot of the youth are running away from the country, flying outside. But if we are trying to take the importance of national service by changing it and not really looking at the impact is, or the patriotic, sense that it's going to impact in the youth, then we will miss it as a nation, and youth will continue flying out of the country. Thank you so much.
All right, thank you so much. Our dear viewers, we want to acknowledge the fact that there are a lot of our callers behind calling. I think this unemployment thing has generated a lot of viewership for us. The young people whose matter is on the table now want to be able to call and express their views. And so I have asked our gentlemen that next week, the same, I know they have very busy schedules, although some have not been paid.
Yes.
They will still come, and then we'll see the part 2 of this where we ourselves will tell government, let's create the agenda. I think every day we allow the government or the opposition leader, whoever, to create the agenda. Yeah. We this time want to be able to create the agenda and move on. But let's take your final words. Amable, just 30 seconds. Your final words.
So my final words to be to the government, that our plea to them is, we want our allowance.
Quick.
Yes.
A Ganeva.
We are really suffering.
Yeah.
Like, it's unbearable for us. Yeah. And then I'll use the opportunity to appeal for our seniors as well, who have been unemployed for 3 to 4 years at home, that they should also listen to their plea and then release their financial clearance so that they also be posted.
All right, thank you very much. Okay, Taji.
Yes, sir.
Final.
I think my last time you gave it to the college, so let me...
No worry, we are coming.
All right. I think, first of all, the national service is not to be cancelled. Just that we are looking at whether it's supposed to be mandatory or not. Okay. I just want us to clear this, or people will get a notion that we want to cancel.
Yeah, I want to know. It's not cancelled.
It's not cancelled. Good. Secondly, on behalf of all NAPCO trainees, seriously, it's not easy. And I am not different from them. So the sentiment, the hardship, and whatever they are going through, I face the same. I will use this bigger platform to appeal to the government, led by His Excellency 𝗟𝗓𝗏𝗏 Quarcoo and the Vice President, Dr. Mahmoud Bawumia, His Excellency, that NAPCO trainees, seriously, we are suffering. And I'm pleading on their behalf that the government immediately should fund and pay us, because it is not easy. I wish they sleep with me. I wish they answer my calls and read my messages. The guys are seriously going through a lot, which I am also part. Again, I am appealing that possibly NAPCO as a scheme should be reintroduced. Should be reintroduced, because it was doing a lot of good, which of course, now that it is cancelled, we have a lot of problems and challenges that we are going through. So my regards to all NAPCO trainees nationwide.
Very much. Ogo, you know back here.
Okay, so first I'll say the discussion around national service being mandatory or not. I am also pleading to the president, the vice president, all the politicians to just shut it down. It shouldn't even be discussed in the media whether it should be mandatory or not. We are all entitled to national service. The act that was introduced to it should be there, because we need to build our skills for development. Now, the second one is, if all our governments, our politicians, the vision that they really have for Ghana, as they claim to be, is, if they really mean it, then they should be ready to invest in the young people. And investing in young people means pay their allowances on time. Investing in young people means strengthen institutions and make sure they have the right skills. Investing in young people means make sure everything, you tick the box for everything that needs to be in place for them to develop. Because if you do not do it, other developed economies will come for them and you will still start from scratch. And we do not want that to happen.
Terminal 13.
Thank
the
you.
nurses are going already. I
Exactly.
hope you are not planning to.
Nurses, plumbers, everybody, they are all
Everybody is
leaving.
going.
So they must look sharp.
Government, those in government and those in opposition, we are begging you. The young people are speaking, but that was a while ago in your shorts. Francis Okoama, he is a youth development practitioner and co-founder of the organization called youthcommittee.org. We also had with us 𝗦𝗏𝗍𝗍 who is the national president of NAPCO Training Association, although it has been cancelled, but he still remains their president until their final money is paid.
Exactly.
President forever.
Yes, sir.
All right. I also have with me my brother 𝗟𝗏𝗍𝗏 Jr., who is the president of the Rotational Nurses and Midwives Association of Ghana. Gentlemen, thank you so much for coming. Next week we are repeating this, and as I said, we are professing the solution. We are saying goodbye for now to those team, but as you know, we are going to the field of play. Côte d'Ivoire lifted the trophy to the dismay of almighty Niger, and for all Ghanaians who supported Ivory Coast against Nigeria, we know. But let's go to the field of play. Agro, Osede, Asode, Eja